It's going for 11 o'clock at night. I got my hot water bottle. I got my guy in a chicken suit pin on. And I want to share 4 stories of ways that individuals and organizations are resisting the Trump regime. These are 4 good stories. Lots of scary news right now in many ways. And it's really important that we look for those ways that resistance is working, that we are effectively holding the line against fascism, because those can get buried. So today, October 16th, Democrats in the Senate continue to hold the line for Americans, for our health care, and for democracy. This is pleasant. The skittish Republicans so often buckle so quickly, and yet we are seeing them vote after vote hold the line. Today we heard, this is a piece from MSNBC, I trust no Republican's word. The Democrats dismiss John Thune's shutdown offer. We are watching Democrats have a spine. We are watching Democrats say, if we allow Republicans to get their way, 51,000 Americans will die every year from healthcare cuts that Republicans have shoved down the throats of the American people in order to give billionaires a massive tax break. This is a pleasant surprise. Democrats are holding the line and defending the lives of 51,000 Americans. Keep it up, y'all. I'm cautiously optimistic about this, but the more they hold out, the more we need to keep propping them up and putting their feet to the fire and say, don't you dare back down. Do not back down. Keep it up. Keep going. Senator Richard Blumenthal of Connecticut today said, I trust no Republican's word as long as Donald Trump is saying he refuses to extend healthcare tax subsidies. Right, what we have now is this rescissions portion that Democrats are trying to get overturned, because they can vote on something and then Donald Trump right now, because Republicans have given him the power, can just be like, no, I'm going to move that money over here. Or nope, I'm going to cancel this thing that you've appropriated. Republicans have bafflingly given him that power, handed over the power of the purse, taken their constitutional power and authority and handed it to Donald Trump. I don't understand it. But Democrats are like, no, we don't trust like that. No, sorry. Your promises are empty as long as Donald Trump has the power on the back end to slash and change things. Okay, good news number 1. Democrats are holding. We got to be on the horn with them every day saying, don't you dare back down. But right now, they're holding. Good news number 2. Several days ago, the Trump regime sent these compacts to 9 different universities and said, if you want priority funding for your research, then you have to agree to certain policy changes. You have to let us come in and make changes in your institution, including hiring their faculty and staff, admissions policies, altering campus culture, and shrinking foreign student enrollment. Basically, they're like, if you want to get your grant funding, then you will agree to these terms. Just classic attack from a would-be authoritarian on institutions of higher learning. Again, Donald Trump is using a predictable playbook. Controlling universities is something that fascists want to do. I've covered that extensively, so I won't get into it here. But so far, we have heard from 3 universities. I talked about one of them a couple of days ago, MIT, now University of Pennsylvania, and then today we're hearing Brown University have all said jog off. This is fantastic news. We need the other 6 schools to also stand up and have a spine. One of the things that was so disheartening to so many of us is how Columbia immediately folded, maybe even in advance of the inauguration. Maybe they were collaborators all along. And we've seen Harvard consistently stand up, and we've seen this coalition of 200-something colleges decide that they were going to share resources if the regime came for them. And now we are seeing these universities say, no, we're not going to play your game. We're not going to agree to limitations on free speech. We're not going to allow you to change our admissions process. We're not going to allow you to restrict how many international students we have in order to get preferential grant funding. I want you to understand how significant it is that 3 schools have already said, fuck off. We will not do this. It's really, really important. We need our universities to stand up. They are one of those pillars of support under the regime. So far, it's mostly just Columbia that has betrayed all of us, right? In order to protect a couple $1 billion, even though they sit on this huge endowment, they could have rejected Trump's shakedown early in the regime, and they chose not to. They betrayed democracy, their students, their faculty, in order to collaborate with a fascist. And so a lot of people were worried that too many other institutions of higher learning would do the same, and yet we're seeing them say, no, we're not doing this. So good on UPenn, Brown, and MIT. If any one of those is your alma mater, call them, say thank you, give them a donation, right? Say more of this, stand up. So excellent news, but I want to read off the other 6 schools. If any of those are your alma mater, you need to be calling them. You need to be contacting your alumni organization and saying, we've got to pressure our schools to hold the line, to stand with MIT and Brown and UPenn. Those schools are Vanderbilt, Dartmouth, University of Southern California, University of Texas at Austin, University of Arizona, and University of Virginia. If you went to any of those schools, you understand the assignment. Okay, the next bit of good news when it comes to people and institutions holding the line and resisting fascism. Pete Kegsbreath, former Fox News host, decided that he was going to demand new rules for journalists, and we are watching multiple news organizations say, are you fucking kidding me? No, we're not going to sign on to your letter. Y'all, ABC, CBS, NBC, CNN, and even Fox News said, kick rocks, WikiLeaks. No, we're not doing this. We're not bending the knee to you in this way. In fact, every single news outlet refused to sign, except for the super conservative, absolute MAGA propaganda org, One America News Network. Even conservative media outlets expressed concern that Hegseth and the Pentagon would make it difficult for them to report any news that was not approved by WikiLeaks himself. The Associated Press, by the way, said that the Pentagon's new press policy undermines the First Amendment and the Associated Press's core values as an independent global news organization, and so they would not sign on. So good, we have media, a lot of media that even has been functioning as a pillar of support under the regime saying, no. Any way that we are seeing organizations or individuals refuse to comply, that weakens the regime. Anytime somebody stands up and says, I'm not doing this, it undermines the authority of the regime and it gives other people courage to stand up as well. That brings me to my last story, which I'm just tickled pink about. Right, we heard that Kristi Noem said that she was going to put one of her propaganda videos in airports all across the country. That was a headline piece of news a couple of days ago, like this is going to happen. Homeland Security announced that they were going to have a new video that was paid for by our tax dollars, right? All of Kristi Noem's propaganda machine funded by our hard-earned tax dollars, that it was going to have Kristi Noem in the starring role. It was going to run in all domestic airports in the United States, and it would focus on immigration. And the clip included blaming congressional Democrats for the ongoing government shutdown. Insert something about Hatch Act violations here.
Hi, I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. It is TSA's top priority to make sure that you have the most pleasant and efficient airport experience as possible while we keep you safe. However, Democrats in Congress refuse to fund the federal government, and because of this, many of our operations are impacted, and most of our TSA employees are working without pay. We will continue to do all that we can to avoid delays that will impact your travel. And our hope is that Democrats will soon recognize the importance of opening the government.
It never ceases to amaze me that we are living with the cringiest authoritarians. They are just, God, they're so bad at it. They're so sad. It's just, y'all, let's get free of this shit. So Kristi Noem thought that was going to run in every airport in the United States. Portland, Oregon, by the way, was one of the first airports that was like, we're not running this. Nice try, babe. No. And in the last 3 days, we have seen the list of airports that are refusing to play this video grow and grow and grow. Big and small airports all around the country are saying they're not going to play it. New York, Atlanta, Chicago, LA, Charlotte, Phoenix, Seattle, Portland. The list goes on and on and on. Kathy Hochul, the governor of New York, says that Noem's video has been banned in all airports in New York State. By the way, Senator Maria Cantwell of Washington, who is the top Democrat on the Commerce Committee, has demanded an investigation of Noem's use of public transportation resources to create a clearly partisan video. So there you go. 4 stories of ways that folks are pushing back this week. Let's keep it up.